Um, good
When I was
evening.
joining a bit, sorry, pardon me.
Yeah. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to another weekend analysis from SJ Sports. I am your host today, Van, and I've got my guest today, Bibu, Habib, Pams, and Suleiman Alka. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Thank you, thank
Yeah,
you, thank you, thank you.
thanks for having us.
Yeah. Another interesting weekend as always. The Premiership never failed to deliver. Um, well, I will start with the Man United game. Another, narrow escape for Man United. Um, it was a tough game for United against Fulham, but United ended up winning, snatching out one goal and win last minute by Bruno Fernandes, and that takes Eric Ten Hag to his 50th win since he's been to United as a manager, and he's the first manager to get to 50 wins this quick ever in our history. I'll start with Habib. What do you make of the game?
I missed you there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was just talking about the Man United game against Fulham. What did you make of the game?
The game we played okay. I think we haven't got enough chances as the previous game, but I'll say we played well. Good fixtures. Well, I was just concerned with one or two selection, but it was a good game. We had a chance. We scored that offside goal as well. Was close, but yeah, we played well. And Fulham, to be honest, they came with a game plan and they made it hard for us. So until the very last minute where they all switched off, and that cost us the win.
Yeah. What about you, Pams? As a United fan, what did you make of
Yeah.
the game?
Now the game, I think, in my opinion, I think that was a better performance than the recent ones. I'm not saying it was good, but it was better than the recent performances. Yeah, I think Ganacho did very well, and we just needed to win. Right now, it's not even about good performances, playing style. We can't have a playing style with that back four. That back four is completely opposite of what Ten Hag playing style is. He can't play with a playing style. So yeah, scrappy win. We fought. The boys fought, and we got the win. That's what matters at the end of the day, honestly. So yeah, I think that was good, confident booster because we have a big game against Copenhagen. So yeah, confident booster that one.
Yeah, I totally agree. At the end of the day, the 3 points, that's what matters. And obviously, currently with our situation, there's no confidence, in that team. We always, um, the players are down and everything, so they needed something to boost them up. So I agree that, even though it wasn't an outstanding performance, but it was an improved performance from our previous game against Newcastle, and then obviously the last weekend against City. Um, Saul, what did you make of that game as a neutral?
Yeah. By the way, the game missed the first half because I think I went. Yeah, I went out. I went to get something quickly. Before I came back, I missed the first half, but I went the second half. And from what I watched the second, I was kind of agree with Amoy though, like saying the game is a bit boring. But also I understand like from a neutral from a neutral fan, so it's gonna be like it's a bit boring. But I was like, you know what? What's important right now for United is 3 points. That's it. Forget about performance. 3 points is the key. So I was watching the game up to 70, 80, 90. And I'm like, boy, this game looks like it's gonna go to nil-nil. But when Bruno came out with that goal, I was very surprised. But I was like, you know what? It's good for the manager as well because after all this talking weeks and weeks, week in week out about the manager style of football, his performance and all this, you know, So I was kind of happy with him to. Sometimes at some point as a manager, you need wins like this to just kick you at the back and then start winning again. So I think it's a very important 3 points. Forget about performance. 3 points is the key. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. In terms of the 3 points that matters, as I mentioned earlier. In terms of the manager, though, I know we did discuss this last week. Reference, he's under pressure. Is he supposed to be sacked and stuff? But judging on him being the first manager to get to 50 um, wins, um, do you reckon that it's fair to say that he needs time to get things right than jumping into sacking him straight away because he's having a rough start of the season? So
Like I always say, as a manager, every manager needs time. Whether you come in fourth season or second season, especially second season, you need time. You still need to get rid of the players that you don't want and all this. Even though yes, he signed few players, he signed majority of the players that he wanted, but he probably still need more players to implement his style of football. So managers always need time. Always gonna need time. You cannot sack a manager after a year or after 2 years. If that happens, then Arsenal will never give Arteta chances because Arteta was at Arsenal 2 seasons. We finished eight, like most of you guys always say. We finished eight, and then the second season was supposed to make that tough one. Then people say, "Oh, but they probably agree." We end up finishing fifth. So I think as a manager, you need time. You need the board also to back you and all this. Remember, yeah, with time and also, and if the board members are not willing to back you, as a manager, you will never be successful because you will never have the players that you want. And if you don't get the players that you want, you cannot. There's no success because you cannot play a style of football. And if you don't have a style of football, you cannot win. Especially a league. To win a league, you need to have a style of football to win a league. You cannot win a league like playing scrappy games and then you end up winning 1-0. You cannot win 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 every week. So I think in this time, I agree. I think manager should be questioned, but like I said, he needs time.
yeah, thank you. That's a fair analysis. Same question goes to Pams. What do you reckon in terms of Ten Hag being given that he's the first manager to reach 50 wins?
Yeah, Van, I've always said, look, managers, we gave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 3 years. 3 years, yeah? So if you're going to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 3 years, to me, he's not even qualified to manage in the Premier League, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So why not give Ten Hag, someone that's been in Champions League semi-finals, someone that's won trophies, why not give him 3 years? And I don't mean like this half-half thing, like buying some players, little bit of pressure, then sack him. No, I need 3 years. I'm talking. I don't want to go back to Arsenal, but I don't think. By the way, I don't think in this day and age a manager can finish eighth twice at United and still stay at the job. So I think that the Arteta one is different because we all know Arsenal at some point they were desperate. They were nearly a small club, so they could accept it. No disrespect, but it's true. They
Shut
were
up,
nearly.
my telling me, what are you on about?
No, it's true. You guys really had some real bad times. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
we
for
did.
at United, hmm?
I said, yeah, we did. We had bad time for years, man.
At United, I just can't see a manager finishing eighth twice. But I don't think we'll finish eighth. I think we'll finish at least top six this season. Our second half of the season will be better when our back four comes back. You can already see with Wan-Bissaka back, we're already more solid. So for me, get the players out. Let's back the manager. This guy, no one can tell me this guy is not a good manager. Yeah, you can say maybe the players he picked. Anthony is a very bad signing. Now I have to admit that Anthony, I don't know about that guy. But every manager is allowed to make a mistake in the market. They all do. They all make mistakes. So for me, back him. Let's back him. He's the guy. That's what I think.
Yeah. Lastly, Bibu, what's your thought? I know you always even though you're a United fan, you're always critical when it comes to Ten Hag and his ways and stuff. But do you reckon, given that he's the first manager to get to 50 wins, do you reckon that he still needs more time and backing to get back to winning ways? Yeah, you're still on mute.
I'm all right. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think we can give him a chance, considering that we have to keep winning the next couple of games. I'm not expecting him to win all next 5 games or so, but at least if you win 3 out of 5 and draw one, that will just make a difference, and that will just bring positive feelings towards the fans and the players as well. The pressure is too much on the players as well because they're not playing good every week in week out. They're getting criticized. It's not good for the manager, and the trouble is, I wouldn't say I'm a critic of Ten Hag based on, well, I'm just not. I'm very impatient that he spent that amount of money. Yes, still he's trying to bring his style of play, but he's now dodging away from it because based on the fact the players aren't good enough for his style of play. So he's ditched it, and he's not producing results. So
Yeah, I think we're losing
Bibu,
B there for a
Bibu's
second.
internet is gone.
Yeah, but anyway, is he coming back?
Oh, it's back.
Yeah, B, but I think your internet is playing up.
Wait,
Yeah, you
Anyway,
have to jump back in. Jump back.
hello,
yeah, your
you got.
yeah, we can hear you now clearly. Can you finish on your last point?
Yeah, I
For
was just let me just wrap up quick. I said I'm
yeah,
just gonna give him chance now for a couple of games and see, but we need to produce results. I understand. Yes, it will take time for him, but as a big club, we are big, we're the biggest. I'm not going to say we're one of the biggest. We are the biggest in UK, so we
you are the
should
big.
produce result. The fans, I don't think we've got time to be patient. For a couple of games, yes, we can give him chance for another 5, 10 games and see how it goes.
okay. Yeah, thanks for that analysis. My take on that is I don't think 5-10 games will still um determine whether Ten Hag is a good manager or for us or not. I think minimum we need to give him the season to fix things because sacking him now and getting another manager is not going to change much because we're still going to have the same players, and clearly the issue is the players. Most of the players are not good enough, and it's going to take time and a couple of transfer windows to correct that. And obviously from the top as well, they need to sort things out in terms of structure. Our main issue is the structure. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I think definitely he needs at least this season, and then we see how it gets, by the back end of the season and see whether there's any improvement. If it doesn't have any improvement, starting of the season next season, still same result, then we can start thinking about sacking him. But at the minute, I think as fans, we need to get behind him. Moving forward,
But sorry, just 1 minute. I just have a question for Bibu, if you don't mind.
yeah,
So obviously, Bibu, you're not Ten Hag's biggest fan, and that's okay. But for you, who can fix this? Like, which manager then, if not Ten Hag, or like who right now, who's out there that can do a better
I
job?
think we need the next manager that's coming in. For me, that I think he can't fix it all because our problem is I reckon even I think Simeone would, based on the fact that he will come, he's ruthless.
You
And
think
those
you think
players,
Simeone would get along with the board?
no, that's the thing, because that's a good question. That's a good question, Race. No, he won't.
This is the problem.
Yeah, that
But
he
but
won't.
but but how is that gonna be possible? Like, what kind of what's your club strategy? What are you looking at? If Simeone comes to United, that's gonna change your style of football, is it?
Yeah, big time.
yep.
Yes, it will. It will. It's not going to be like our all United philosophy, the way style of play. That it wouldn't be like that. But
So
it
are
will
you
be.
are you are you happy to go down to that route? Like,
If you're producing results, yeah, why not? He's won the league at Madrid with that style of play and philosophy, where you have Barca playing every, you know what I mean, week in, week out with the same style of play.
But don't you Mourinho was playing that style of football, isn't it? Mourinho. Was
Yeah, and
Mourinho
he
not playing?
won. And he won trophies at United.
Yeah, but that shows the United culture or the board members, they were not happy.
No, I
Or even the
think
fans.
the reason why, but Mourinho said he finished second, and that was his best, well, one of his best achievement. And people thought he was joking, but he was right because the players were just bad. But he utilized what he can, and then just got us to the final Europa League, and then we won it. And he was second. So, but we'll see. I don't
Mourinho
know.
was upset. Mourinho was upset about the fact that we didn't back him in the transfer window after he won the Europa League. That's because we only signed Dalot and Fred in the next summer. That's what he was upset about. Yeah, he wanted a defender. We didn't get the defender. So yeah. So okay. Yeah, that was my question really, because I just don't see anyone else, to be honest with you. I just don't see it apart from Ten Hag. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Pams. Thanks, Bibu, for responding to that question. Yeah, so moving forward, the next game we're gonna talk about is the Arsenal versus Newcastle game. Obviously there's been lots of drama in that game, especially in the manner in which Newcastle won the game. But generally, it was a good game to watch as a neutral. I think both teams, played decent. Newcastle were really solid in terms of trying to nullify Arsenal's way of playing, their attacking players, especially. But going back to VAR and the decision that Newcastle got in terms of winning the game, I personally think Arsenal were unlucky not to get the decision for the ball going out at the first instant anyway, and then the foul on Gabriel that led to the goal. So I don't understand at this day and age with the technology how could VAR get it very wrong. I know obviously I was happy for Newcastle to win because I don't support Arsenal, but that being said, as a football fan, I hate to see teams getting robbed in this manner because we had it this season already. United against Brighton, that Rashford cross, VAR came back saying they were not sure whether the ball was out or not, so they can't what's it called? They're just gonna have to give the unfair decision. So the consistency is not there, and as Ateta rightly mentioned, if we claim that this is the best league in the world, we need to have everything right, especially with technology now, VAR and everything. We can't be, having these kind of decisions wrong because it's going to cost teams. That 3 points, who knows how it's going to affect Arsenal later down the league because every point matters. And it's not just about Arsenal because there are other teams as well that are trying to get into top 4, and Newcastle are, competing with those teams. So Newcastle going 3 points ahead might have effect on other teams as well. So I'll leave it to Pams to delve into the game and tell me your analysis. What do you think about the game?
Yeah. The Arsenal new. So okay. So I have two different takes on this. Number one, I do agree with you. The officiating, they're not consistent. VAR. I feel like England is the only country. The Premier League is the only league in the world that misused VAR because I watched the Italian league. I watched the Spanish league. There, the referees when they make a decision, they make a decision. Like even if they have to go to the screen, they change their mind. But in the Premier League, if you send a referee to the screen, you know that the decision is not getting changed. So for me, I don't know. I feel like these referees are not brave in the Premier League. In terms of the game, let's analyze it properly because Arsenal had one shot on target. Let's be honest. It was a scrappy game. To me, it was 50-50. And I told Saul yesterday, you were playing Newcastle's game because Arsenal are not known to getting like scraps. They're known to putting the ball down, playing beautiful football and all of that stuff. But Newcastle, they're gonna do whatever it takes to win. So for me, number one, Newcastle played it perfectly, in my opinion. And number two, the decision. What they said is actually accurate. What they said was, look, we can't tell if the ball was in or out. So if they're not sure, how can they change the on-field decision? And then you move on to the foul, apparently the foul on Gabriel. For me, it wasn't a foul because even Jamie Carragher came out today and said, look, I'm a defender. What Gabriel done was, as soon as he felt contact, he was going down straight away. And if you look at Joe Linting, it wasn't like it was like a hard push. It was like football's a contact sport. He was feeling the defender, and Gabriel went to the ground straight away. And then they moved on. Is Gordon offside or not? He wasn't offside because he was clearly behind the ball. So for me, I feel like Arteta is a hypocrite because, I don't agree with the thumbnail saying that Arsenal's robbed because Arteta's a hypocrite. Because I remember when it happened to Liverpool, they asked him, he said, they're human beings, they're trying to do their best. What happened to the human beings, Arteta? Because it's your team now. You want to come out.
When did Arteta say that? When? This season?
I'll pull it out. Yes.
This season?
Yes, this season.
I
Yes.
haven't seen any press conference that Arteta said that anyway.
He said they're trying their best. They're trying their best. That's what he said, right? And Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp had more right to be angry than Arteta did because Liverpool got clearly robbed. Everyone knows that. So anyway, he's coming out crying, but it happens to every team every weekend. I'm not even sure if the Garnacho offside is still offside against Arsenal, and Gabriel handled Højlund. He had his hand around Højlund and leaned into him. That was more of a penalty than the Højlund on Rodri penalty last weekend. So for me, it happens to every team. They just need to move on. They lost the game. For me, if you're gonna put a gun to my head and ask who deserved it, I'll probably say Newcastle because their game plan was perfect. It's not gonna be easy for any team to go there. So my message to Arsenal fans: just stop crying. Really, that's just my message.
Anyway, let me jump in.
Thanks, Pam.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Let me
now
jump in. Number one, Pam is talking rubbish because number one, yeah. No, 1 minute. Number one, yeah.
No, I was gonna come to you. Alka, to say about the match.
Okay.
But you can start. You can start from. You can start by responding to Pam's statement.
No, I'm gonna respond to Pam and I'm gonna come to the reason.
Yeah.
Pam, for you to sit there and say, "Oh, Jolin does put his hands. The ball is a bit soft, or Gabriel feel it and he fell down." Come on. As a defender or as a player, if you feel something, football is contact sports. Yeah, you're right. But if somebody do you believe that foul, if that foul was anywhere in the pitch, the referee will not give that as a foul? Do you believe that?
Jamie Carragher said it. He's a professional.
But
he was
I
a
don't care about Jamie
footballer.
Carragher. Jamie Carragher said years ago that he said many things wrong.
Tell him. I'm just
exactly.
saying what he said.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here and believe what Carragher said. Who is Carragher?
Okay.
Carragher, at the end of the day, he's a United fan. But what I'm going to say, yeah.
No, Carragher is not a United fan. Point of correction.
No, he's a United player, obviously. He's a fan.
No, Liverpool.
It's a pundit.
Not Neville.
Liverpool. What I want to say is, yeah, I'm not believing what Gary Neville said. You understand?
It's not Gary Neville. It's Jamie Carragher.
Jimmy Carragher. What I'm saying is, yeah, this guy, how to call it? You mentioned what's it called? Alvarez, yeah? Hey, no, Rodri. Last week, Rodri filled the contact in the 6-yard box, and he fell down because why? Is that penalty is harsh, but you know what he did? He made use of it as a player, and he fell down, and they give the decision. So that Gabriel's incident yesterday, it doesn't matter where is that's a foul. Anybody cannot sit here and tell me that is not a foul. And number one, the ball is out. If the ball is out, if you are not sure if the ball is out or not, don't give it. Don't give it. Simple as that.
No.
You cannot give a decision. 1 minute. You cannot give a decision and say, "Oh, we are not sure if the ball is out or not." Okay, fine.
No, do you know why? Do you know why they give it?
1 minute.
Because they scored the goal, so they can't reverse the decision. That's why they had to keep the decision.
Well, whatever the case is, they always come with excuses. And the other thing I want to say, people haven't noticed it. Joe Luton basically hand the ball, 2 hands. He hand the ball. The ball was in his hand. It's a handball. If you go back and check the video, you will see he hand the ball. After pushing Gabriel, he hand the ball because he was nowhere near the ball. You understand? But this is what VAR would do. And I have been complaining about VAR for weeks. I remember when I was saying that Rodri should have sent off against Arsenal. He didn't. And I watched Liverpool against Liverpool against who? Against Everton. Yeah, Ashley Young get booked early. After that, the referee booked him again and sent him off. And then against Arsenal, covered it, get away with another second yellow. And the referee, oh, don't worry, I don't want to spoil the game because it's a big game. And what happened after later on? Konate was on yellow card, took the man off. Second, it was the last man basically, took the man. And the referee refused to send him off a second yellow. Why? Because of his Liverpool, or because of when big teams are playing, they can have the advantage. When smaller teams are playing, they don't have the advantage. So this is what I've been calling about these referees for weeks. And last week, Newcastle had a penalty away to Wolf. That's penalty. It's not a penalty. They give it to Newcastle. It was not a penalty. You understand? And yesterday also, Wolf against Sheffield, they gave Sheffield a penalty. That penalty was not a penalty. It was a dive.
I agree with you.
So-
They are inconsistent.
So
I
this is
agree
it.
with
So
you.
many decisions. It's not only about Arsenal. And I get what you're saying with Arteta.
I agree with you, but I feel you guys are just making too much out of
No,
it.
no,
You
I'm not
didn't-
making.
Why didn't
No,
you
no,
win
one
the
minute,
game?
1 minute.
So why didn't you score a goal then?
I'm not making that VAR is
The game's
sorry
90
of-
minutes. The game's 90
Yeah,
minutes.
but
That's
that's
what
why
I'm saying.
yesterday when we lost, I didn't mention anything in the group VAR. I just ignored. I was like, you know what, we lost.
All right.
But the other thing you mentioned about Newcastle, I don't think Newcastle deserved because you said Arsenal have one shot on target. Newcastle have one shot on target. That's what they scored. So the game it was equal. It should have been a draw. Draw
But
was the fair result.
Whose game did that look like? Arsenal's or Newcastle?
That game.
That's what.
That
That's
game
the
was a
same thing
50-50
they
game.
did
It
to
could have gone
PSG,
either
by
way.
the way. That's the
No, but
same
it could
thing
have
they
gone-
did to PSG. They
No,
were
it was
just roughing them
50-50.
up.
Wait, Pams. It was
Go on.
50-50. It could have gone either way because Arsenal have more of the ball. So it's a 50-50 game.
I don't know.
Arsenal
I
have
feel
more of
like
the
their
ball.
game plan was effective.
And
I don't
And
know.
the other thing I want to mention, this guy, what people say, okay, Kai Havertz was lucky to be on the pitch. That's probably right. But Bruno Guimaraes, I don't know how come he played at 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
How comes he played at 90 minutes? That Bruno Guimaraes, you know. But all I want to say, I'm going to say more about Arsenal maybe tomorrow in our Arsenal podcast. But the two players that stand out for me, Arsenal, Declan Rice. I know you've been cussing Rice. Put respect from Rice. Rice is a baller.
Okay,
Rice
are you gonna
and-
let me respond?
Right, no, 1 minute. Rice and Saliba are the
All
two
right.
standout players yesterday, our performance yesterday. So I think it was a 50-50 game, but at the end of the day, the referee was the headlines. The referee threw away the goal. But that you can happen. Games like this happens as the season goes forward. So you just move on and learn from. And I think Arteta have every right to call out these referees.
For me, yeah. Look on the Declan Rice thing and your two players. Look, like I never said that Declan Rice was a bad player. All I said was like he's all right.
He says bank average. That's what he said.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, what is
you know,
bank average
wait,
then?
wait. All right, let me finish. You know, Graham Souness described Casemiro as a steady Eddie. That's exactly what Declan Rice is. But one thing he's gonna add to your team, he's gonna run around, he's gonna give you physicality. But I told you when you signed Declan Rice, I said he's gonna give you physicality, but he's gonna take away creativity. Arsenal have lost creativity. Xhaka was giving you that. Odegaard was giving you that. Havertz is not the guy that's going to create.
Yes, I agree
Jorginho
with
is not the guy.
Havertz
Yeah.
is not the guy. Jorginho is
Hold
not
on.
the guy. But
Hold on. Declan Rice,
well,
yeah,
minute,
he'll
to
give you
base it on-
physicality. He'll give you physicality, but he's not like a Partey. Even Partey, he can create or put in dangerous passes from the six. So for me, he's just a steady player. That's all.
Oh,
but you know,
listen,
your
I
team is
disagree
weaker.
what you say. You basically basing on Arsenal not creating enough on Rice. That's what you're doing. Basically, that's
No,
what
no,
you
no,
said.
no,
No, that's what you said.
No.
Because
Rice
Rice, 1 minute. Rice
and
right now,
Havertz.
he hasn't have
Both of them.
Rice haven't have a position, steady position right now. One game you play at 6, one game you play at 8. So you cannot base on his performance right now. What Arsenal are missing right now is a number 10. Odegaard was not there yesterday, and Kai Havertz was playing 10. Kai Havertz barely, he don't even create. So you cannot base it on what Rice can do is he can intercept ball, pass, drive, and pass. That's all he can do. He was playing 8 yesterday. So Kai Havertz that's his job to create. And sometimes nowadays when we play with teams, they sit deep. They don't allow us chances that we have to create and all. But it's all down to the manager to set up our team very well. But I'll speak about the manager more on our tomorrow's podcast.
Thank you. I'll go for that. I personally think Kai Havertz had probably his best game for Arsenal yesterday.
Yes, he did well.
Even
But it was
though
still-
Arsenal eventually lost. Bibo, what did you take? What's your take on that game?
I think what Arsenal failed to understand is Newcastle are a good side, and I said it before the game. I said Newcastle will either it will be a 2-1 or it will be one. It will be one goal different, and therefore, Newcastle are not good. They're not in good form to beat Arsenal. Arsenal, if you look at their previous game, they struggled against Everton. United game, we knew how it all went, and then look at the Chelsea game. So for Arsenal, I think Arteta also needs to calm down when it comes to these referees and OC complaining. If you look at his track record, whenever he get beaten, he's got an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
He's always had an excuse. You have to take ownership at times. Do you know what I mean? Yes, yesterday the ref played the part as well, but you cannot just always come back and then just like I think Pam's just mentioned it with Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp, yeah, he's got every right to come out and say whatever needs. Do you know what I mean? That one we all knew how it went.
So, you telling me I have no right to come out yesterday and
No, to that extreme
Not
with
like
the
that.
comments, with
Not
the
like
comments he made. No chance. Come on, look at Rush.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me ask you a question. If you were a manager today and that cost you 3 points, and you know that goal that they score, the goal is not clear, would you come out and slow the referees?
Based on your performance, you look at your performance.
Forget about performance.
No. But you look at your performance. If you complaining and
no. This is not about performance. That game yesterday deserved to be a draw. It's not about performance. Performance was equal. You cannot
That's
tell
what I'm
anything about
saying.
performance.
So for you to be just
so we're talking about the referee decision. We need to talk about it. If the referee got it wrong, managers are gonna come out and say,
okay, he got it. He got it wrong.
You talk about Jurgen Klopp talks more than any manager here in England. Jurgen Klopp will complain the schedule, the Premier League schedules. He will complain about referees every week. The only manager who doesn't complain much about referees here.
Have you ever seen him? Have you ever seen him? Let me see. Jurgen Klopp coming out, every single game that he got beaten. Yeah, and he's always blaming on referees.
Okay. When was the last time Ateta came out and complained about referees?
Well, look at your game. How many games you lost?
Yesterday.
Arsenal.
How many games you lost?
Ateta haven't complained anything about referees.
No. How many games? That's what I'm saying.
People, you don't watch Arsenal like I do. If I tell you, just agree.
When you get beaten,
come out
that's what I said. When you lose a game,
referees. Huh?
When you lose a game, that's when he comes out and start blaming. He's never took ownership of the result.
Okay, 1 minute. We lost to West Ham. Did you hear me say anything about referees?
What? That was. Well, look at the goal margin. You think he will come back and
okay. We lost to Champions League against Lens. Did you hear him come out and slow referees?
No.
This is it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But he's always complaining about it.
No, but you're telling me complaining. You're not telling me what he's complaining about.
Okay, have you ever seen him coming out and say, "Oh, today we played awfully"?
Yeah,
we didn't play
against
good.
Against West Ham, he said we played rubbish. We didn't turn up.
Probably that's a one-off then.
Well, I think Lamin wants to ask you.
No, you have agenda as Arsenal man.
Oh yeah.
You have agenda with my manager, man.
It's not agenda. It's not agenda. It's what we observe.
No, it's agenda, man.
No,
okay. On a serious note, let me wrap up.
And say anything
about.
Yeah, go.
Okay, let me wrap up. On a serious note, Arsenal, I think the way they're playing, honestly, they should go back and then just. I think Arteta should just do a better job now going forward because he cannot rely on these referees or just the way the performance was good. I mean, Kai Havertz.
Yeah, let me come.
I think that was his best game in England. Since he came to England, that was his best game. I'll say. Even when he was in Chelsea, he didn't play this good like he did yesterday. So, but I think not a lot of Arsenal fan rate him based on the fact that what he played in Chelsea, he wasn't like that good enough to say he's worth that signing. And I think Lamin will add on that if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm right or wrong.
I'm a Kai fan, so you're barking at the wrong tree here.
No. I mean,
I just want to touch.
Just correct me if I'm right or wrong on that.
I just want to touch on the Arteta thing. Arteta he's not someone that moans about referees too much, to be honest. But yesterday, you can see, like, visually, he was angry at that decision because even me, if you're coming back as VAR and you're saying, you know what, it's inconclusive, yeah, that it's like going to court. If the evidence is inconclusive, you have to throw the case out the window. And that's how I felt yesterday. After you can show me all the lines to say it was in or it wasn't in. But during that match, at the state of play and what was at stake, I feel like that should have just been out and let's carry on. Let the game be won in a different way if it's going to be won. But yeah, we can't be here talking about VAR. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks anyway with our performances. Since the Lens game, I've not been impressed with Arsenal. Like the Vents one, you could see it coming, you could see they will win that game if we don't do something, and he didn't react enough. He could say, "Oh, we've had injuries, we've been missing Thomas Partey, so we can't play a certain type of way that we want to play." But yesterday was a frustrating game to watch because all Newcastle did was block the center of the pitch, and we couldn't penetrate them from the center. We had to be going to the sides, try to get Bukayo Saka in. I thought that was one of Saka's worst performances I've ever seen, and Nketiah. Apart from that, the only two people I can be like, you know what, in our attack, they were trying to make things happen was was Kai Havertz and Martinelli. Yeah, Havertz really impressed me yesterday, and seeing like that comparison with Chelsea. Chelsea was a different club. It was a different role they were trying to get him to play, and maybe he didn't feel comfortable, didn't feel uh, like the system suited him. But for me, from now, I feel like give Kai Havertz a season, let him settle in. He will find his form, and there is a player in there. Whether Arteta can bring him out, we'll wait. We'll have to wait and see till the end of the season. But yeah, on Kai Havertz, you're absolutely right. But on the manager, Arteta is very critical of his team in it, and he will talk about our actions in the first half. If you watch most of his interviews, talk about our actions was not good in the first half, but in the second half we improved. In 15 minutes, we slacked off. Especially last season when we started losing games, he will talk about 15-minute segments of where we lost concentration or we were not up to the pace. And it's like this is our first defeat of the season. Liverpool drew today at Luton. Aston Villa went and lost to Nottingham Forest. So the season is long, and what my frustration, especially with some Arsenal fans, is almost like, oh, the season, the title is won in December. We've still got a long way to go in it, and I'm not going to write us off, but we do need to improve massively because once Jesus gets injured, Odegaard gets injured, there's a big drop off between the first team and the reserve. So maybe that's something the board needs to address, to go into the market and see if they can get players in. Everybody wants a striker, but I think rather a winger, and then go for that marquee striker in the summer. So that's my take on the whole thing. Like our performances have not been good enough. We've got a nice run of games coming up. I think our next game is Sevilla at the Emirates, and then we got Burnley at home, and then we got Brentford away. So we still have to grind out results and be in and around the top 2, top 4 kind of thing between the 2-point, 3-point margin, because teams will lose. Tottenham will lose games. Liverpool will lose or draw games like they've shown today. So you just have to be in and around it till you find your best form come in the new year, going into February, March, because that's when the season is really won. But one thing I heard last week was attacks wins you games, but defense wins you titles. And I feel like that's something Arteta has realized, hence why we're conceding less goals and less opportunities to teams. Because even Newcastle, I think they had 0.4 XG before that game. So the City before that goal, sorry. So there is an improvement, but up front, that's where we need to improve massively. We need to start beating teams comfortably and getting out there and getting 3 points. But that's my take on the Arsenal thing. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that analysis, Lamin. The brilliant analysis. My question, finally, my question for the Arsenal, the overall Arsenal season. I think this was raised a couple of weeks ago, referenced their style of play this season compared to last season. Many are saying Arsenal are not playing, the best football as they did last season, and I think a couple of Arsenal fans here defended it by saying this season is more about controlling games and building up from that. But yesterday, what I saw in the Newcastle game, I didn't see any, control from Arsenal in the overall game. Just today, I was watching again some of the highlights of the game, and what Newcastle did was nullified both Saka and Martinelli in making sure that their wingers were dropping back to double up and help them. And I think Palms did mention about what's it called, about Rice giving you that steady in midfield, but he's not as creative as compared to when you used to have the likes of Xhaka or when Partey is fit. So in that aspect, I did kind of agree with him, because if your flank players are being nullified, then you need to change the way you attack, and that's the only way you can do that is come through the middle. So if you don't have the players that have that quality to break in the middle, because even United, we face the same situation, because we don't have that creative player in the middle of the pitch. So yesterday, Arsenal losing, obviously Odegaard not playing, you lost that creativity in the middle. So that being said, going forward, as Arsenal fans, this question is for both you and obviously Alka. Do you reckon you guys are gonna continue having these kind of results further down the season if you don't do that change in the way you play?
Yes and no, because I feel the teams, not a lot of teams can do that against Arsenal. Yeah, you can say the Newcastles, the Cities. I won't even put United in there. Chelsea did a good job of it as well, to be honest. Tottenham maybe away from home. Not a lot of teams can nullify our wingers. Yeah, the teams that can do it have to do it really well for 90 minutes, or now up to 100 minutes. Some games are playing full. Yeah, and the problem we have is, like you said, it's a creative problem. Yeah, it's in the park, because when let's say Partey is out, we wasn't so worried because Odegaard can do that. But recently, Odegaard have not been playing to his best ability. And yesterday, Smith Rowe being out, I feel like that affected us, because that game could have been for Smith Rowe. Even last season, when you look at when we went to St James's Park, 1-2-0 there, Odegaard started off the scoring. When Newcastle tried to sit in that mid to low block, Odegaard just shot from outside the box and he beat Nick Pope. And yesterday we had so many opportunities, like to just hit the ball from outside the box. I'm like, okay, you can't go through them, you can't go around them. Just lick off a shot and give it to Rice. Rice passes it. Give it to Jorginho. Jorginho passes it. It goes to Saka. He's trying to cut in. He's trying to play that intricate with Kai Havertz. It was frustrating to watch, because it's like, guys, if you can't break them down because Odegaard is not here, just shoot. Yeah, and this is where I feel the reserve players have to step up, especially Fabio Vieira. You're bought for these kind of reasons, like for these type of games, yeah, to help us. But because it's too physical, I see why Arteta, because it was physical away from home, he thought, I'm going to go Kai Havertz instead of Fabio Vieira. But Fabio Vieira has a lot to prove for me this season. Last season was a write-off, one-off. The same for Kai Havertz. This season's a write-off, just a one-off. Like, let's see how you do next season. But Fabio Vieira for me and Smith Rowe really need to step up in this team if we're talking about challenging for the title in the long run. Because the other thing is, like, why I don't think it will carry on for the whole season. When it comes January, teams start becoming desperate for qualifying for Europe or fighting relegation. So teams will not always want to sit in a low block. They will want to hit you. And that will give us the freedom to play a bit more. Even if it's Kai Havertz, he can be a bit more creative if he has the space. Or what's his name? Declan Rice, be able to do a bit more when he has the space to attack the opposition. Yeah, that's where I'm at with Arsenal. But you're right in saying, like, last few weeks our performances have been shocking. And I don't know what Alka is going to add to that.
Yeah, please, Alka, can you delve into that, please? You're still on mute, mate.
Well, you,
Yeah, you can
you
go.
mute me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say, I just want to mention a quick thing about Rice. I get what you're saying, Van, that you mentioned about Rice not player that's gonna give you like creativity and all this. But people, this way I'm gonna defend Rice. Yeah, Rice haven't played with best Arsenal midfield. What I mean, best Arsenal midfield is he hasn't played with Partey this season so far. He hasn't played with he played with Odegaard. Odegaard, like El mentioned, Odegaard is not He's not on form this season. He's not playing well. You understand? So this is where and Rice also 1 week he will play defensive midfield, 1 week he will play number 8, box to box. So it's very difficult to judge a player who hasn't like stable the position that he wants to play right now, or the manager haven't stable the position that he wants to play. So until he have party for me, or have party other guy, or other guys playing well, or he's playing in a position that we know, okay, Rice is gonna play now 6. He's not gonna play 8 next game, or he's not gonna play the following game 6. Until then, I'm gonna continue to back him because I don't think right now to say Rice. Yes, Rice can bomb forward. They can take 2-3 people off, and then you probably all you have to do is just give it to the wingers. So maybe his position is give it to the wingers and stay back. Don't go inside the box. Maybe that's what the manager wants him to do. So we don't know.
Rice, even
Yeah.
as an 8 or 6, he's been playing well. I think
That's what I'm saying.
that question lies in our creative issue. Without
Thank you.
Odegaard, how do we solve that issue? Without Odegaard
Yeah, without
Gabriel
Odegaard, that's what I'm
Jesus.
coming. Without
Yeah.
Odegaard, your manager bought Harvard. Harvard supposed to be the creative. He's supposed to be the player that should be creative, giving the players, feeding the players like Saka, Martinelli, and all this. And I think also criticizing Saka and Martinelli is unfair because as a player, me, if you put two halfbackers or 2 players on me, how do you expect me to take those 2 players off or to take them on? You cannot. When you pass this
But
one,
that's
this
what
one
they
is coming
paid
on.
for.
So it's going to be difficult. 1 minute, L. It's going to be difficult. So a manager, Arteta needs to find a way to say, okay, right now, what we're going to do, they double up on our wingers. What we're going to do, we need to use the midfield more. Let's use the midfield more and shoot. Outside the box, let's shoot. Other guys shoot, to be honest. He takes shots and all that, but he was not in the game yesterday. But I think you guys mentioned about the style. I think we've not been playing well. Yes, everybody is right. We've not been playing well, and I agree with everything. But I think we'll come. I think also not playing well and getting results is not a bad thing as a team. It's better than playing well and then you don't get results. At the end of the day, it's results business, right? So I think performance will come. It will come. It was going to take time, but it will come because we have new midfield. I wouldn't say new midfield, but I think we have Kai Havertz and Rice. It's going to take them time to understand the system, but the football will come. The football will come. So that's all. I'm not too worried about the football.
The most important thing, Van, is like we're not conceding, we're not giving a lot of goals away. Everybody can say last season we played good. Last season we scored 88 goals, I think,
and we consider more goals.
And our goal difference was, I think, 44. So the thing last season, we were scoring goals, we were also conceding a lot. We were winning games 2-1.
Conceding more chances.
Yeah, so I feel like Arteta's realized that he's nullified it, but at the moment, it's the creative side he's trying to figure out. How do I nullify chances against us and then also be creative? Because if you have Havertz will give you more physicality than Odegaard will, but Odegaard will give you more creativity. So it's finding that balance, and maybe that will also come with what Alka said when Havertz finds some of that creativeness to be able to slot in the second half or when Odegaard is out to create more chances for our strikers. But this is where I'm going to be very critical of Eddie Nketiah. When the midfield is not having a good game, you as a striker need to take it upon yourself like you did against Sheffield United. You need to step up in games like Newcastle and prove why you should be in contention to be the first choice striker for Arsenal, because it's simply not good enough to just come in and score 3 against Sheffield United and then go missing for the next 5 games, and then we're asking, should we bring in Trossard or should we bring in Kai Havertz as a striker? Neither of them are strikers. You're the main striker, so you need to start performing to that level.
That's why I said to you earlier. That's why I said to you, we need Tony. I think yesterday's game is perfect for Tony. Tony will love that game. It's physical, up on the air. Because remember, Eddie is not going to challenge.
I don't think Tony is any better than. I don't think Tony is better than. Tony is better than Eddie. Like his potential.
Tony's better than Eddie. Tony's better than Eddie.
No, like it's not improvement.
No. Tony is better than Eddie.
He is not an improvement in the long run. He's really not, because he can do most things.
Have you seen how many goals did Tony scored?
Penalty goals. If you look at chance creation last year, I think Eddie's got starts per game, goals per start per game. Yeah, Eddie's got better ratio than
Yeah,
Tony.
because Eddie,
And
1
Tony
minute,
starts
because
every
you know why?
single
You know
time
why,
he's
El?
fit at
You know
Brentford.
why? Yeah, 1 minute. You know why? Eddie's playing a better team. Playing at Arsenal. Obviously, he's gonna have more chance.
No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying this Tony chat. I'm sorry. I am
Anyway,
not buying
I
for
just
me,
want to say.
for me,
I just want to
for
say
me,
one thing.
for me, Tony
Anyways,
is
I'll
a
let
better player.
Alka, I just want to say one thing. I want you to stop making excuses, yeah? Because you said Rice has not played in the best midfield. When Partey was fit, your manager played Partey right back.
It doesn't matter. I'm saying the
don't.
midfield.
No,
That's
no,
my
no,
point.
no. It does matter. It does
Well,
matter
you can't
because
change
you're
my
saying.
opinion. My opinion is in the middle. I didn't say left back.
So why was Partey playing right back then?
Ask the manager. You
That
ask
was,
Exactly.
me.
Then
I feel
you're
like
not the
that
manager.
Partey at right back
You
was
cannot
just
ask me
finding
that.
other
Ask the
solutions,
manager. I'm
like
saying my
for us
opinion.
to be
I
able
want
to
to see
invert
Partey
from
to
the
play
right
that
side
midfield
as
six.
well.
Right.
Exactly.
So then it's not an excuse. Me, this is the thing. I know you guys are saying Arsenal,
But
Arsenal,
Farmer,
Arsenal,
you and
but
you
you
cannot
cannot.
agree
Hold
about
on.
Rice.
Let me
Me and you
finish.
cannot
Let me
agree.
Yeah,
finish.
You know me and
Let
you
me
are
finish.
not agree.
Let me
let him
land.
finish.
We're gonna
Let
agree.
him finish.
Let him put his point across.
Thank you.
Go on.
All right. So you guys are talking about Arsenal. You're saying, your manager needs to figure out the creative side. Everyone knows about the creative side. It was instead of Havertz, it was another player. Everyone knows that. Yeah, Havertz will not create nothing. Havertz is better to put number 9 and let him challenge for the ball. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So I just want you guys to start giving teams in the Premier League credit because, like Lamin said, people are packing out the midfield. And let's be honest, not Odegaard, sorry, Saka and Martinelli are not the same. They're not the same. People are doubling up on them. They're getting tight to them.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
why
they
they're not the same.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
they're
But
not
then,
the same.
but
You
then
already
Modu,
finished your
Modu,
argument.
Modu,
so don't just say
No,
it's
Modi, what
Arsenal.
you say? It doesn't make sense.
It does
what
make
you
sense.
said,
No,
It's not
what
it
just
you
doesn't,
said
Arsenal.
because you
there,
already
what
made
It's
you
your
not
said,
just
point. They're
Arsenal.
doubling on Saka. How they gonna be great?
Other teams are having the perfect game plan to play against you lot. Yeah, I
Yeah,
said
this
it
is
before
the
the
thing.
start of the
you know what the
season.
thing
But
is,
that's
I
why.
said
you
it
know the
before the
thing is,
start of
Modu,
the season. With that midfield, you don't have enough creativity. I said it. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I
the
agree
thing
with
is,
you.
yeah,
Kai Havertz.
what you've
Kai
said there,
Havertz is not
what
a
you've
good
said
signing.
there
I
with
agree with you.
Havertz.
You know my thoughts on Kai Havertz. Anyway, I don't
Yeah.
want to say much on Kai Havertz. I don't agree with the signing. I agree with that way back. But what I'm saying is, you already said it. Why all wingers are not doing well? Because they're nullifying them. So it's up to the manager to bring up something different. That's my point.
But
Exactly. So, and
the
who's
thing
that
Modu
because of?
said
It's
there,
because of the
Modu,
opposition. So give the
Modu,
opposition
Yeah, the
credit.
opposition are doing well. You're right. But like
Exactly.
what
Pep
you
said
said there,
also,
yeah,
you're not
I'll
gonna
just
play
add to
most of
this.
those teams every week.
Yeah,
I'll add to this.
Lams, quickly, your last point, please.
Yeah, last point. I'll add to this. Yeah, the thing is, I keep hearing on YouTube other people saying, "Yo, other teams get to do tactics too, innit?" Yeah, and also adding to what you said about Kai Havertz being a number 9. The team we played yesterday was a prime example of a coach taking the number 9, who was one of the leading goal scorers in the Bundesliga, and turning him into a midfielder and a powerhouse midfielder at that in Joe Linton. Yeah, so I do believe Arteta can bring the best out of Kai Havertz, but it's like, do we have the how long is it going to take? Is it going to be this season or is it going to be next season? You know what I mean? Do we have the time if we really want to compete?
Moves like Joe Linton don't happen every day in football. So let's just get that out of the way.
That doesn't mean you write Kai Havertz off.
I'm not writing him off. I'm just saying there's better number 8s. There's better number 8s than Kai Havertz. Everyone knows that. He's rubbish.
Yeah, I know, but
Chelsea's con you guys. That's all I'm saying.
was
like they con you for Mount, but we're not talking about Mount.
I don't rate Mount, so that's
anyway,
fine.
Van, back to you.
Yeah. Go. Moving on from this subject.
Let's move on from Arsenal.
Avi, I know you just joined in late, but do you want to quickly give us your thought about Arsenal game yesterday, please? Avi.
Avi, where's your camera, man?
Bro, I just joined in. About yesterday game, I thought it was a very good game. Both teams, it was like the old school kind of game. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Yo.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
But your network is not great, man. Don't let these United fans laugh at us, man.
He's got that QCell network.
Yeah. Good evening, folks.
Yeah, I think Avi is struggling with his network.
Yeah, he needs to go out and come back.
I'll come back to him. I'll just move on quickly. So we move on to the City game yesterday. City versus
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. 1 sec. Let me just get facts in. He's on here. Yeah. So move on to City versus Bournemouth. 6-1 thriller. For City. Jeremy Doku obviously was the start of the game. I'll start with Bibu. What do you think about that game for City?
I came in and I said what 3-0.
Jeremy Doku.
Yeah, but Doku is good, man. He's
Your player, Jeremy
that kid.
Doku.
I think his work rate is just too much. He gives everything on that
Somebody's
pitch.
crying.
And the good thing about him is I think Pep is playing him well. But I was so surprised why he did not start him against United.
No, as you you. Let me see bump up here. Baba, very legal.
Avi, can you please?
Can you mute him, Van? Yeah.
No, I'll just take him off.
Van, you can mute him.
Yeah,
Next
go
time, just mute him.
on, Bibu.
Yeah, I was saying I was surprised why Pep's tactics is always on point. But I was so surprised why he didn't play Doku, because Doku was the difference on that game. His work rate is just amazing, and his bomb. Listen, I think City was gonna win that game easy anyway, but you've got to give credit to the guy that made it possible for that game and the way they start. Doku to make for me, he was just outstanding. But I was surprised as well why Pep, and this is a good tactical decision as well from Pep, not playing him against United. But I was with any person you asked, it was gonna say Doku will start that game against United because of the form he's on. But with City, I mean, I'm not saying I cannot rule. Well, Arsenal have ruled them out probably, but I cannot rule Newcastle.
Yeah.
Out. And between the league is between Liverpool, right? City, Spurs. I'm not ruling Spurs out, and then do you know what I mean? Because Spurs, if they win like their next couple of 10 games, like big 10 games, I think it's not going to be easy for teams to catch up. So, but yeah. Good game.
I think it's still early days for the league to call.
It is. But you look at it right now. It is, but you look at right now the way teams are playing. United ain't gonna catch up.
No,
Arsenal,
not United.
The way Arsenal are playing, the way Arsenal, if like Lambs just highlighted everything, like the possible difference that would make Arsenal, you know, good again in the next couple of games that is about to be played. I think if Arsenal continue the way they're playing, just calm down out. But yes, it's too early. But I'm not saying Tottenham, the way Tottenham are playing without injuries. But also one thing I thought I was about to ask the Arsenal fan, they've only got one player that they will miss for the African Cup of Nations, which is Partey.
Who is that?
Two.
It doesn't make difference. Partey's not playing anyway, so.
No. That's what I'm saying. So for you don't have the problem. Unlike other teams, they will have the problem, and that's where the effect will come. Tottenham, now this is where also will affect them, but we'll talk about that another day. So, but
yeah. Saul, what do you take? What's your take on the City game?
Yeah, quickly, I want to respond on Bibu. I'm happy that you're ruling Arsenal out at this stage of the season, but we'll come back to that. This question, I'll put it on you on a couple of weeks' time. I'll ask you the same question in a week's time. Anyway, yeah, with Man City, like we predict on when was it, Thursday? We all knew that they're gonna beat this. What did I said 3? I don't know, 3 or 4-0. So I was expecting a performance like that. You know, it took them 25 minutes to score, but once they score, I'm like they're gonna score another 4 or 3. So and that's what happened. And Jeremy Doku, that guy, Bibu, your guy, is a very good player, you know, and he's quick. You know, so City are they're playing well at the moment. They're playing well and they're scoring goals, you know. City are back. So let's see who's going to be up there with them come end of the season.
Thanks all. Pams, your take on the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, so my take on the game is like, just an easy win for City. But bigger than the game, I just want to talk about Kevin De Bruyne. So Kevin De Bruyne done an interview this week saying that he's been playing with a tight hamstring for 11 months. So Pep knew this. Pep knew that at some point he was going to lose him. So the masterclass he done was he's like, okay, I'm going to lose some creativity, but I'm going to replace it with someone else. And if you play chess, the queen in City's team is Jeremy Doku. He's one of the few guys that can take the ball, travel, assist. So he's almost like a better Sterling in terms of he's a better finisher than Sterling. So it's just a masterclass. And if we can take it back, City knew they were going to lose two of their best players last season. So then Pep said, all right, cool. I'm going to sign players, but the players I'm going to sign is not going to be a maybe. It's going to be a definite. Arsenal signed some maybes in Havertz. City signed Doku. So
Why you
I think,
focus on Arsenal?
but I'm making my point. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean
I'm
you're making
making
your?
my
Why
point.
can't you focus on your own football club?
No,
Why are you basing on Arsenal?
Because
Yeah,
we've
why
been
you
having a
just giving
discussion
an
about
example?
Arsenal. I'm giving you an
God.
example. If
Yeah.
it hurts, then it's not my problem.
Anyways, Lambs,
No.
But anyway, that's all I
Lambs,
have to say.
Lamin, what's your take on that City game?
I just want to touch on Doku. The thing is, today I was sat there, I was like, why did Arsenal not sign this guy? Yeah. Because it didn't make sense to let him go to City. And what Modu said there is right, even though like Arsenal fans we can be in denial about it. And I certainly am, or some people could say that I'm with the Havertz thing, but we could have signed Doku and he would have given us like that relief for Saka as well in games like Newcastle where he could have been that creative hub. But yeah, that's all gone. But when it comes to City now, I think City are favourites for the league, innit? Yeah. The only way anyone else wins the league, it's like you have to be perfect up to May and hope that City slip up, yeah, to lose 3 games and draw 3. I don't see that with City. Arsenal, I think we've drawn 3 or 4 already, and we've drawn 3, lost 1, yeah. Similar to Liverpool, Tottenham, they've drawn a couple, but I don't think they've
How
lost
many
yet.
did Man U lose?
Man U's
No,
got
we're not part of the
Why are you talking about
competition.
Man U?
He's talking about the league.
We're talking
Yeah,
about the title challengers. Leave
the
them
thing is,
talk,
like,
man.
it's so in the top 4, in the top 6, yeah, it's so tight up there. It's like it's 2-3 points difference, yeah, and we're all chasing one team. Like everybody knows we're chasing one team, and that's Manchester City. The only way you take it away from them is if they slip up or by miraculously a team goes perfect up to May, yeah. But I think it's City's title to lose.
Yeah, thanks for that. The reason why I kept going on about Arsenal's performances last season compared to this season up to now, that's the reason. Because last season, what Arsenal was doing up until December, they were up there. Like you knew that they were, giving City their run for their money. But for this season, I'm not convinced yet. That's why I keep asking about Arsenal's performance and stuff.
No,
But
you're right.
that be Fax. What's your take on City's game yesterday?
Yeah, man, Manchester City's game, despite my prediction, was turned down drastically, very seriously. And then I watched the highlights because if I miss any game, then I will look at the extended highlights. I've seen what Jeremy Doku did, you know, replica of Kevin De Bruyne, but not to De Bruyne's, creativity, etc. Because and then if not, Haaland could have even scored hat trick. That was, Kevin De Bruyne playing. But Doku is a very, very promising player. I know he's going very, very well, and then he knows his game. So it is just a matter of Pep bringing the best out of him. That is left with Pep Guardiola to decide, and then to do whatever he wants to do with Doku. But any team that got that man at this point in time, you make the best out of him, he will give you a very good, solid, no, teamwork or a solid player for your team. So the game was very nice, and then City did what they are very fond of doing, scoring more goals and then playing you like their training session. Fair enough. That's they have time. They are on their prime and they can do that. But Doku was exceptional last night, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks. And I think Doku is gonna, give what's his name, Grealish, a very tough time for him to get back to that squad. Because what, even though I'm a rival fan, I don't really like Pep, obviously, because he's a Man City coach. But you gotta respect the guy. The guy always, as Palms mentioned, he plays chess. He kind of premeditate what's coming. Um, Sometimes you can look at City's team and you'll see certain man giving in performances week in week out, and next couple of games he'll be on the bench. He always try to put people, hungry, keep them hungry. We saw that last season when Mares came in and he was having, a brilliant run of games, scoring goals here and there, and the next minute he was replaced. So this season we're seeing the same replica of that. So you gotta give Pep his dues. And for Doku, I think Lams is saying why Arsenal didn't go for him, but he's been in the spotlight for time now, since like 2-3 years ago when was it Johan Klopp that said he's gonna be a star, and Liverpool I think we're trying to get him, but for some reason I don't know how City just went under the radar and then just sweep him.
The thing is, Brian, it's difficult to say when City come knocking. We
Yeah,
have to be honest. It's difficult to say no. Yeah, you know what I mean? And like what Bibu said something that I want to touch on quickly. Yeah, you can't play Doku though every single game. Yeah? Because like other teams get to do tactics too. Because it's like if you play him, Doku is a good attacker, but I don't think he's a very good defender. Yeah, that's what Pep sees sometimes because he didn't play him against us. And I was so thankful when I didn't see Doku's name on that. I'm like, he would have run us ragged. And when he came on, it was like 15 minutes, I think he swapped him from the left to the right to go against Ben White. And I was dreading. I'm like, this guy just needs 20 minutes to warm up into this game and he's going to whip us a new one. And against United as well, he probably didn't play him because he's thinking, what if they hit us on the counter? We need something more solid. So I do feel like there'll be moments where he will sit him out, which will give other teams the opportunity to counter City and actually score a goal. But apart from that, the guy is perfect, man. For me,
Yeah,
he's
but
even...
quickly, you're right. I listened to Pep Guardiola's interview weeks ago. He said, they asked him, why do you play Jeremy Doku? He said, because sometimes he doesn't like to use wingers, especially when he's coming up with good opposition, teams. He like to pack the midfield instead of playing wingers, because when he plays wingers, the midfield is going to be open up. So he like to pack midfielders, and then, and he said he cannot play Jeremy Doku week in, week out. He just come to the league and everything is new to him. As you know, Pep Guardiola always does it. When he bring players or when he sign players, he doesn't play them continuously every game. And I think that's what other managers should learn, especially my manager.
yeah.
No,
Thank
can
you.
I comment there before you go? Sorry, because your managers and other managers cannot learn. Pep got a lot of options. His bench is even healthier than our first starting 11 or your first starting 11. So if you got even the second players, the second choice of Pep Guardiola is far better than Arsenal first team and Manchester United first team combined together.
No.
That's right.
Options.
That's right.
Facts. 1 minute.
That's right.
I disagree. Pep Guardiola's bench is not better than Arsenal first 11. No, he's not.
But what
It's
Fact
not better
said,
than
so
Arsenal
I think you
starting
missed
11.
the point. You missed
When
the point
everybody's
because
fit, huh?
you missed the point what Fact said, so
No, I
because
didn't
the
miss the
thing
point.
is, if you bench Saka from our team,
Yeah.
who's coming in for Saka? Nelson
No.
or Pavio
You missed the
Vieira?
point. Fox is saying, listen,
Yeah,
City's bench is better than Arsenal first 11. I said no. I
no, I
disagree.
don't.
It's
He
not.
said he didn't just say Arsenal. He said it's better than some teams, even United and Arsenal. So I feel like
Yes, he
if you
mentioned
don't,
1 minute.
Thank you very much,
He
Lamin. Thank
mentioned
you very much.
United.
You are
He
listening.
mentioned United and he mentioned Arsenal. I'm not going to talk about United. I'm not a United fan. So I'll talk
okay,
about
you
Arsenal.
have to stop. You have to stop being defensive about
No, I'm
Arsenal,
not
bro.
defensive. I'm just saying facts. I have to defend what he said because for me, I'm not gonna have that. City's
Yeah.
bench is not better than
Okay.
Arsenal first 11. It's not.
Thank
If you said City's bench is better than Arsenal's bench, yes, I agree to that one.
Okay.
But
Thank
look at
you.
City's
Thank
bench.
you.
You've got Grealish on there. You've got Doku if he
Yeah.
doesn't start. Bernardo Silva if he doesn't start.
Well, Lamin, this boy is joking. Don't mind him. Don't even
Like,
name them.
bro,
But
like
joking, You know what you feel understand? L. This Fox guy, he likes to put every because United are bad, so he want to put United's covers and Arsenal's covers at the same time. I'm not having it.
But anyways, we're gonna move because we've already gone over the hour. So the rest of the games, I'll just be asking two people to just give us their thoughts. So I'll start with Brentford against West Ham. Brentford ended up winning 3-2. Bibo, I don't know whether you watched the game. What's your take on Brentford and West Ham, the season they having?
Yeah, I mean Brentford they played really well, but even though you can see they're still struggling to. I think their style of play without Tony is just boring to me, and you can see they're doing too much just to perform and get a result. But it was a good game. It was a good game. West Ham as well. I think I don't know what's going on with them. They're not consistent, and compared to this season, well, not last season, well, last season and previous season as well. They're not playing their style of play anymore. They just gamble. I think they were just gambling, and there's no tactics there for David Moyes. Because that game, if you watch it, he should have changed that game on that second half, but he didn't. He just stuck with what he's done, and then just remove one or two players, and think they will just make the difference. But Brentford played well. I've got to give them credit.
Yeah, thanks for that. Pams, do you want to add anything on that game?
I read somewhere like I think Brentford beat West Ham the last 3 games, so it looks like Brentford, they're the most informed team in London right now, apart from Tottenham, because they haven't lost at Stamford Bridge since they came to the Premier League, I think, and now they're beating West Ham. So big up Brentford.
Stamford Bridge is basically their second home.
Yeah, they have 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Moving on to Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Burnley, wow. Vincent Kompany. He was having an amazing season. Obviously, last season he did, fantastically well to bring them up, won the championship. But he's just struggling to find a win. I think there's a baby.
Oh, your thing.
Sorry, yeah, baby.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So Kompany is having a rough time at the minute. He's getting beaten week in, week out. What's your take on that game? Brentford losing 2-0 Alka.
But I think this Kompany guy is not gonna last long before December. I think he'll be gone. And I think this game coming up against Arsenal, I think they're playing Arsenal at the Emirates. I can see another 4-0 or 5-0 to Arsenal. And if that happens, I don't see this Kompany. And you know what? I like Kompany. I want Kompany to be given chances. He's one of the, we don't have many black managers in the league. I wanted him to do well. To be honest, when I heard that he got this job in Burnley, I'm like, I'm hoping things goes on his way. And I think the mistake that Kompany did, he signed all these young players from Belgium. Bringing them into the league. They knew, and this is Premier League. This is not like you play in the Championship. And most of these players are young. Yes, he's got like a style of football. But like I said earlier, style of football doesn't win you games. You need to go out there and get results, get points. If you don't get points, style of play is out of the window. And they're going to sack you. They're not going to look, he's playing us this style of football. No, they will say, okay, if we get another manager, can play us this style of football. So why would we keep this manager? He's not even giving us points. So I think I'll be surprised come December if he's still in this, Burnley's manager or job.
Thank you. Fax, what's your thought on that game?
Yeah, I feel sorry for him because looking at he is the first coach to break a record, 6 straight home game defeats. That's a massive record breaking for him. But I think Vincent's problem here is the style of play and tactics he used to qualify the team onto the Premier League, is different from what he's using because now the opponents are stronger than the championship teams. So now if you have stronger opponents, like having a very quality team like Manchester United as your opponent, have a very advanced team like Manchester United as your opponent, it is going to be different if you don't upgrade your players. I think that's where they're lacking. He needs to upgrade players that have more experience and they are mature in playing such a very high and competitive games. So with that, if they mix the team a little bit and get very experienced players, I think that will help him. But if that's not happening, I don't see any way for Vincent. And the next stop, you will see it on the paper that he has been sacked. You know,
Mm.
that's my point. Yeah, he's not doing well with how things are going at the moment. I'm definitely sorry for him.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
quickly
Thanks.
before you go on, but I think what he should do is sorry, just 2 minutes. What he needs to do, yeah, he needs to go back to defensive and try and nick like draws or nick wins 1-0 and then build confidence, build it from there, and then you start open football. You cannot come to the Premier League and you want to open football like that. Teams are gonna pick on you. They will score more goals on you.
Yeah, I agree with both of you in terms of his approach to games. I won't go as far as fact saying Manchester United's current quality because we're far from that. But anyways, moving on to Everton versus Brighton. It was a 1-1 draw. What do you take on that game if you did watch it, Lamin? I think you on mute. Sorry, one sec.
But Lamin is sleeping, but Lamin,
Yeah,
boy, what
no,
did
he
he
was on mute. I put him on mute. Yeah, so go on,
did
Lamin.
he
Sorry.
eat
Yeah,
chocolate? Did he eat
I
fox
didn't see the
chocolate?
game, but when I saw the game, I thought it's going to be a draw 1-1 because Brighton, I thought it was going to be a draw, but not necessarily 1-1. Because Brighton are not as good as they were last season. Maybe that's because of the effect of Europe and some of the players they've lost as well. But Everton are surprising me. Like Son Dyke, as much as I hate his football, you guys just touched on Vincent Company. Son Dyke knows his style of play. He knows the players that he can use to facilitate that kind of play. So he gets that in. Yeah. So it's like some managers, you just have to know your environment and the club you're in and be like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna go for. I'm just gonna get the results, stick into the league, and then we build from there. And he's doing that very well. And I won't be surprised if Everton from near the end of the season they fight in the top half of the season because they can grind out results. They can get the 1-1s, the 1-0s, and just be able to be solid defensively to carry on.
Yeah, thanks for that analysis. Pams, did you watch the game? And what do you take on Brighton? Because obviously Brighton, everybody knows that they are a very good team, but recently they haven't been winning games.
Yeah.
They've been kind of struggling.
Yeah, no, I did not watch the game, but I saw obviously the score 1-1. Brighton, I think it's Europe because they're in Europe now. They lost Pascal Grove. I think they have other injuries as well. So good for Brighton. Good on them because they want to act like a big boy. Like welcome to the big boy leagues. Yeah. Now you have to face their injuries and
Wait
what
till
it
you
can
go
do.
get Ferguson from them, mate.
They're not gonna tell us Ferguson, but yeah, Everton. I like Everton. I actually like Everton. They wasted so much money. But now they just have to pick up the scraps. Hopefully, I think they will stay up. Sean Dice.
Yeah, I think they will stay as well.
I feel like we need Sean Dice in the Premier League because he's so different. He's so different. Like he adds his own unique style. You know, he knows what he wants. 4-4-2, long ball, work hard. So good on Everton. Good on Everton. I don't really like Brighton like that. So good on Everton.
Yeah, thanks for that. So last but not the least, the last game on Saturday, for Saturday, was Sheffield against Wolverhampton. Um, Obviously there was another VAR controversy on that game. My personal take is that wasn't a foul. It was a soft last minute penalty for Sheffield to take their second win of the season. What's your take on that, Bibo? I don't know whether you've seen the game.
Yeah, I've watched the game. I mean, Wolves played really well, but they were just unlucky. They were just unlucky, and Sheffield as well. They're becoming like the annoying Brighton. They play, but their end product is just not up there yet. But I think it's just they're new to well, they're not new to the Premiership, but because they've come back and the games that they've played is with against United. Well, we just knew that United will win regardless of how bad we're playing, but they're playing all right. And I think if they maintain this style of play and be scoring more goals, to just get them points, they will stay up.
What's your take on the penalty and the VR decision?
I think that both got done. That wasn't, to me, that wasn't. But I mean, now the game, I can't. I'm not there to say if it was right or wrong, but it wasn't. To my honest belief, I thought that both just got done on that, and that cost them what points.
Yeah.
So,
No, Van, before Vivo, sorry, what came to my mind? I always think that the people who monitor this VAR are all playing gamble or they are betting. Sometimes that's what exactly come to my mind because these decisions are sometimes very stupid, man. I don't know whether some of them are on betting zones or they are betting for whatever they're doing. But sometimes if you look at the decisions they make, it makes no sense. Despite Arsenal being, not my favorite team, but they got them, very mercilessly yesterday. They caused them again. After looking at everything, the VAR showed that the ball was out. You could see, but others are saying no, it has to be 100% out. It shouldn't be 90. What the heck is going on with the VAR? Trust me, there's supposed to be an investigation to see whether these people are not betting. I'm telling you, man.
Facts, you're honest United fan. You can look at it and say the ball was out.
Spot on. I think Fox, I agree with you for the first time.
No, but Lambs, we all.
Yeah, I think at the
did
beginning,
you say the ball was out too?
Yeah, I did. I just said, you know what I mean? But I was just saying that Ateta can't keep on always, blaming. Yes, there are some decisions, it goes over you and then you end up losing point. But then look at our penalty. You look at the referees are not consistent. Look at our penalty against Tottenham.
But I think
that was the same
rubbish.
guy that hand the ball, and then against, I think it was you
against City too. Against City too.
Offside against
and he had the same guy and it's the same position the way, and they got given a penalty.
And that's why I said.
And that cost us the game.
That's why I said against City. I said that City penalty is soft, and I'm consistent, and I still think that yesterday's foul is a foul. It's soft, but it's a foul.
Yeah, but it cost us points. It didn't cost you points because it was gonna be like a draw for your game. But it cost us points.
It cost us points, people.
No. What?
We didn't get anything. It cost us points.
No, 2 points.
Well, no, against United.
I mean, you mean Arsenal was gonna get 1 point? Yeah, but we quickly move on. Lams, I think at the beginning we all agree as United fans, we did all agree that obviously that ball was definitely out, and Arsenal shouldn't have, lost that game in that manner.
But Bieber keeps on going back to this Arteta complaining.
He cries a lot. He's right.
No,
last season, we lost the title.
He got called out.
Can you give me a second?
I'm not a
Last season, we lost. I feel like last season that game against Brentford cost us a lot. And that was offside. You get me? So we can bring a track record out where we lost the title because of VAR. And
you didn't lose the title because of VAR.
I wouldn't say we lost the title.
You didn't lose the title because of VAR. Let's not stretch it.
Last season, you lot bottled it.
You bottled 12 points.
You
contributed towards it. That Brentford game would have taken us 15 points ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, but all the teams can have the same,
exactly
approach, because every season
I don't feel like people. I don't agree with you.
Every season a team gets robbed.
If anything, if you say Klopp or Ten Hag, I can agree, but no, Arteta.
Let's just move on, because I think if we want to stay on this topic, we're not going to finish today. Let's just move on.
Wolverhampton 2 weekends in a row.
We can talk about that in the Arsenal game, because we have been on this issue over and over.
Let's move. People always starting it again.
I'll go on to the Nottingham and Aston Villa game. Forest beat Aston Villa. Aston Villa have been, okay this season, but they haven't been consistent. They're just like Brighton as well. Everybody can see that they're trying to do something there. The coach is good, but every now and then they fall short, losing games. Team,
Can I take this one, Van?
Yeah, I'll start with Alka first, and then I'll come to you, Lamin. Alka, what do you take on that game?
You know what? Yes, from yesterday's decision, I even forgot there's matches today. I wake up here, and I was I
Oh,
I
no.
wake up here, and I was going past the living room, and I saw my dad was watching the game, and I'm like, what game are you watching? First time watching Villa and Forest. And I'm like, oh, there's a game today. I was like, yeah, 2-0. And I'm like, nah, this game is over. But I was happy that Villa lost because I think if Villa won, it could have gone level on Arsenal or even go ahead of Arsenal. So that tells you it's really tight. But I was happy that Forest won at the end of the day. But Villa is my team. Unai Emery needs to start, like you mentioned, they're just like Brighton. Today they win, tomorrow they go and lose to Burnley or they go and lose to Sheffield. So it's not consistently from those two
Alka, I
teams.
think we have to give credit to Nottingham Forest home form. Even
Yeah,
last season,
they're
they're
doing
very
well.
hard to play. That City ground is very hard. So let's
It
give them
is.
credit.
Lamin, what's your take on the game?
I'm Emery being a former Arsenal manager. I've watched that guy a lot. Yeah, and Modu had when he was at Arsenal. Yeah, I've always said the guy is just attack. He doesn't know how to sometimes like set up his team to be in a defensive form. Yeah, because when Unai Emery was at Arsenal, we had the worst away statistics because we could
At
not
home,
win
we were
games
terrible,
away.
sir.
Yeah, we even sometimes at home we're conceding 2-3 goals. It was entertaining to watch. Like Villa are entertaining to watch at the moment, but it's not going to be consistent throughout the season. And for me, he might even end up finishing in the bottom half of the season if he doesn't fix it. Yeah, because I watched that whole game and I'm like, mate, it's like you're trying to hit Ollie Watkins and Nottingham Forest were giving you no change. They were giving him nothing. So change it up. But it's always the same thing. Try to get Diaby involved or try to get Bailey involved, and it just wasn't working. And Nottingham Forest just had their number. What's his name? The black guy? I forgot his name. He's one of the defenders and one of the central defenders.
Mangala.
In the other guy, I think
Is
it's
it
the
the guy
right back.
that was at Villa?
Ori.
Not Aurier. It starts with the N.
This guy. He was a Wolf. What's his name? The French guy.
I forgot his name anyway.
Bonnie.
No,
Bonnie, no.
Nketiah.
Nketiah, thank you.
Nketiah.
He had a brilliant game, like excellent game. I think he was man of the match as well. And even Aina, excellent game because Forrest gave him a couple of warnings before that goal. They had a shot that went wide and went for a goal kick. And then the same similar play happened exactly again outside the box, and he didn't see it. So for me, as much as Villa are impressive at the moment, I just feel like it's one of them teams that will fall off because of like Unai Emery. Unless he shows me otherwise, his away form is not going to help him. And in this league, you need to go away to big teams and win.
Van, I need to come back. I need to come back on that, please, because this guy, Lamin, he's a Unai Emery hater, right? Because he didn't succeed at Arsenal. He's saying that Unai Emery can't defend. I've seen Unai Emery beat Arsenal and then beat Man United semi-final and final in the Europa League.
Those are
based
cup
on
competitions.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No. He's a top manager and he's doing a great job. Villa fans here, they can't believe how lucky they are. Give him a few more signings, and I'm telling you, this guy can somehow challenge for the league. Top manager.
Yeah, but he is very annoying to play against. You gotta give him credit.
Bro, he's so annoying.
No, Alga. It's not. I know why you're laughing because it's. But
No.
very annoying.
The Arsenal team was rubbish.
He's not my
The
manager.
Arsenal team he took over was rubbish. Get that into your heads, Arsenal fans. Unai Emery is a great manager. Like, that's just my opinion.
Well, I think Unai Emery's level is at Villa. It's not the level for Arsenal.
Nah, no way.
No. But he wasn't given a chance like you did to Arteta.
Exactly.
He got a whole.
Let me answer. He was not.
Let people finish.
Look at the chances.
Let
No,
them
for 1
finish.
minute.
At some
He
point,
was
you
not
wanted to
proving
take
nothing.
him.
And
But
there's
he
no
lost
style
the
of
dressing
football.
room as well, Bibu.
He got you guys to
football.
a final, a Europa League final. Your manager didn't get you to a
Okay,
final.
he lost it, man. 4-0, man. Don't get me started, man.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
How long was Unai Emery at Arsenal?
A
Unai
season
was
and a
there
half.
2 years.
Season and a half.
A season and a half. A season and a half.
Yeah.
No,
So
was there season
Yeah.
and a half?
What position did he finish?
No, 2
He
years.
finished fifth. And by the time he got sacked, I think we were sitting 11th or 8th.
So he was.
No, it was not 11. We were feeling 15.
No,
Yeah,
no, no,
by
no.
the time-
Alka, he was no, it was 15.
No,
No,
but
no,
by
it
the
was
time he got
15.
sacked,
Wait,
Alka, he was
wait,
sitting.
No,
when
there's
Ateta
context.
came in here,
There's
he
No,
was
no,
there's
very bad.
context.
you went
Alka,
15.
Alka.
Yeah,
No,
my
Alka
score.
might be right.
But you
Hey,
went.
Seni,
No, he got sacked early in the season. He got sacked
Bibu.
early in the season.
Bibu,
Huh?
No, he
but
got
when I
sacked.
was Arsenal,
Arteta
if
took
I tell you
over.
something,
Arteta took over.
In November. In November.
No,
November.
Arteta,
No, December,
he got
December.
sacked in December. Arteta took over on the 19th
December.
of December.
Yeah,
So
December.
yeah, he got
Okay,
sacked in
so-
December.
So basically, Unai Emery was at Arsenal a season where
And a half.
he's finished 5th
Yeah,
and took
Yeah.
Arsenal to the Europa League final.
yeah.
Correct.
And the next season, up until December, the results were not great, and he got sacked.
Yeah.
And he lost the dressing room.
Yeah,
So
because
ba-
the culture was wrong at Arsenal. That's why.
Yeah, and
So-
Arteta
Yeah,
will
but,
come and
yeah,
fix
but
that.
that's why we
Yeah,
Yeah,
bring
but
him so that he
Ateta
can
was
change the
given more
culture.
time, and this is why.
Exactly.
because Unai-
So what- my
I think
question-
people,
my
it's
question
different
is-
context in it. Because
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
the reason Arteta was given more time was to
Because they can
fix
see
the
it.
dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Which
they
he
can see what
done.
he's
He
doing.
got
my
Go on,
question is, Ateta took over in December,
yeah.
and then he ended up with Arsenal to 8th, right?
Yeah.
The first season, and the
Yeah.
second full season, he
Mm.
finished 8th again, but he was
Yeah.
given more time. But your
Yeah.
counter for that is Ateta had the dressing room, and
To
compared
fix
to Unai
the
Emery,
culture.
he didn't have the dressing room.
But you have to, Van, you remember this as a
No, no,
United
no.
fan, innit? Every
El,
football fan
let me
remember this,
come
yeah?
in. Let me come
When-
Let
in.
him finish,
when
Alka,
Unai-
then I'll come to you.
When Unai Emery was there, half
Yeah.
of the time the Emirates was empty. Now we
Yeah.
can't even get tickets to come into the stadium, yeah? Because the culture was rotten. Yeah, so
Let's be
Arteta got
fair.
given the
Let's be
time.
fair.
And
Let's be
when
fair.
Arteta came in, what
Yeah,
that
but let him
was
finish.
after
Let him
Wenger.
finish fast. Pam,
It
let
was
him
after
land.
Wenger.
Huh?
Let him land. Let
When
him land.
Arteta
Pam.
came in, I always go back to his first press conference, yeah, and I rewatch that all the time, even when we're doing bad, because the philosophy he came with, he's still implementing that the same philosophy. I couldn't say the same thing about Unai Emery. I'm like, okay, we're playing this beautiful attacking football, but we're always getting cut open all the time. It was consistently happening. I know he had what's his name, the guy from David Luiz defense and Socrates. He didn't have good players, but at the same
No, but
time, we
Pam,
can't compare.
El,
We can't
El,
compare
wait.
Unai Emery
He's
and
the one that
Arteta
signed those
because they
players.
had different
He's the
jobs
one
to
that
do.
signed that player. What's it called?
Okay, Alka, quickly, and then I'll go on to Pams to say
Yeah.
what he wanted
What?
to say. Alka,
I can't
quickly.
believe this argument is about Villa. We're still talking about Arsenal. But my point is, yeah, Unai Emery, I like Unai Emery at the beginning when he came in. I'm like, you know what? This manager is going to come in and change.
It's
But
Arteta's Mike.
one thing that changed my mind with Unai Emery is when I see teams coming to Arsenal here, having 15 shots, 20 shots per game, and I'm like, no, wait, there was no style of football. Yes, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. We lose badly at home. I remember there's a season that Wolf came in there, they scored 3 goals. So I'm like, bro, I'm not seeing anything. No style of football. We win in today, next week we lose. I'm like, no, I had enough. And he took us towards 15th position. We were in relegation zone that time. When Ateta came in, Ateta was like, you know what? I'll introduce players like Saka, Martinelli. These are my players. I'm gonna give these young players chance. And that's where Saka started rising up because Saka started coming. Remember that season we beat Chelsea at home. That was the goal that Saka scored, and everybody was like, "Oh, he didn't mean that." That's where things started. So I'm like, you know what? I can see what Ateta is trying to do. I don't have any agenda with this manager, Unai Emery. But I think he's a good manager for teams like Villa, not for Arsenal. Arsenal is too much pressure for him.
Yeah, thank you. I think when you say there was no
Okay.
style of football, I think there was a
all
style
right,
of
that's
football. The only problem was he was more offensive and he wasn't thinking about his defensive. But I will go back to Pams. You wanted to say something.
Yeah,
Okay.
just something quickly. By the way, it was Unai Emery that gave Saka his debut in the Europa League. So
Yeah,
let's
that's
get
true.
that. Let's get that out of the way. And look at the squad that he had. And then number 3, the guy that, regardless who it was, the guy that came after Wenger was always going to struggle. You had rubbish players, and the culture wasn't good. You didn't have the structure, and those times your owners weren't spending money. So you have to be fair. I think he's a top manager, and I think Villa have money, by the way. When they back him, they'll be a very dangerous team, and I think they already are. By the way, this can happen to anyone. This is the Premier League. You can
Yeah.
go anywhere and lose. So yeah.
Thank you, Pams. Pax, you wanted to say something quickly, and
Yeah, I just wanted to say they were much more ungrateful to Emery because there was no bad coach. There was no coach that gave us a bad result than Arsene Wenger. because teams Arsenal will be. I remember games. Arsenal will be leading 4-0, and teams will come and equalize them. Arsenal will be beating team 3-0. They will come and equalize them, add more for them. But the old man still keep his job. But the man came, took you down from the drain, bring you up to the light, take you to European competition, and you still cannot give that man chance. They were very ungrateful to him.
You know
Anyway,
why
that's my
that?
take.
No, but firstly,
Yeah,
You know why
first,
that?
thank you.
if you compare
You
it,
know why that happened? Because
took this
he's
guy, how to
he's
call
not
it,
an
Ben and
Arsenal.
Trump.
He's not an
Ben,
Arsenal ex-legend to be given a chance, and that's it. Simple
I
as
agree.
nothing.
Exactly.
no,
Thank
no.
you. We move on to the last game, which is Liverpool versus Luton Town. Um, this game, I was watching this game today, and obviously last kick of the, 96 minutes, Liverpool equalized. Diaz went to head the ball, he got him on his arm, and then he went in. But nobody like on Thursday our podcast, I think everybody gave Liverpool the win. This is why I said the Premiership is so hard that you
No,
can't.
I did not give them. I did not give them the win.
Well, okay, apart from you, but everybody else wouldn't think that Liverpool will go to Luton and lose, or at least having even a draw. Fax, what's your take on the game? I know you gave Luton the win, and everybody was laughing at you and stuff. But what do you think?
Hey, wait a minute. Did Fox seriously give Luton a win? Fox, I
I
watched
think
the
Yeah,
video back.
he
he
did
did.
Yes,
1-0, 1-0. He
He
said
said
yes.
1-0.
1-0.
I said 1-0,
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
and then
Fox did, and then
you
we
know,
were laughing.
yeah.
and then you were all laughing because
Yeah.
the reason why I say that is because Luton, they tried to get space, they tried to fit in, and then now when you look at it, no, they try to read players. Okay, whatever tactics that every player, game plan that every team brings to them, they try to condemn and try to introduce them to because they want to get results. And then I went to watch highlights of Luton and I've seen the way they were playing, the way they run the balls. You could see their midfield is solid. The balls were coming from all these angles, and then they try to get. They only lack a very deadly and very clinical striker that will finish up things. That's the only thing they lack. But if you watch highlights of Luton, the way they play, they can give any team a trouble here because they are new, they are hungry, and then they want to leave their mark on the Premier League. They don't want to go back to where they came from. So this is why I said, it's gonna be tough. You people are saying 4-0, 5-0. I said no, because I've already watched certain things about them. That's why I predicted that they're going to win 1-0. And then my prediction stood until that decision was given.
Yeah, fair dues to you, because
I,
obviously, what's it called? Everybody, like what Luton has shown so far, they haven't been winning games, and teams have been beating them and stuff. And Liverpool at the minute, they are in good form. But this is the beauty of the Premier League. You know, sometimes you will predict that this team is gonna go and it's gonna be a walk in the park, but it doesn't necessarily turn out to be that way. So fair dues to you for having that confidence to call out that Luton was gonna give Liverpool trouble. Pams, what was your take on that scoreline?
Yeah, I think Luton were very unlucky because, like, what Fact said is right. I think Luton are the teams that are promoted. They will stay up, I think, because they can mix it up. It's not just attack. It's not just defense. It's like both. They know how to park the bus and they know how to attack as well. And congratulations to Tahith Chong. He's from the Man United Academy. He scored the goal. Should have been a winning goal, but unlucky. Yeah. Good draw. Good game by Luton. I didn't want Liverpool to win.
Yeah. I'll go around the group, the table again for one final. If you have any last words, because we're coming to the end of the program. I know tomorrow is the big one, which is Chelsea versus Tottenham. We did give our predictions on Thursday, but Bibu, do you have any final words?
But Chelsea, Tottenham.
No, any final words generally for the
No,
weekend.
I think I'll just touch on Luton and then just wrap up. That's it.
Yeah.
I think Luton, if you watch the game against Forest, they are playing good. I mean, their structure was, I don't know how, and they were 2-0 down. And they've turned around and 2-2 all. It was just crazy. It's their style of play. And also, one thing at home, they give it all in. And they come out and then they play good football. They're just unfortunate. But they've got, like Pam's just mentioned, what the option they've got is interesting. Staying up, I'm not sure if they're not winning, like scoring the necessary goals in the last minute, but yeah, they've stand a chance of staying up. that they stand more chance than Burnley. Put it this way.
Thank you. Alka,
Especially
any
their
final?
number 7, dangerous number 7 they have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Alka. Any final words? 1 minute. The ball is in your court. Generally, the whole weekend. Any final points you want to touch on?
No, I'm just gonna still based on the referees, man. They need to improve, man. Improve, I'm just speaking behalf of. I'm not only speaking because of Arsenal. I've been speaking about referees all season. So, and I'm still gonna continue to call out these referees, man. So, we need, especially tomorrow. It's a big game tomorrow. I'm hoping VAR decision is not gonna rule tomorrow's game as well, because we wanna sit down at home, watch the games, nice and nice and cool. So, I'm hoping error decisions tomorrow again, and then continues towards the weekend ahead. Yeah, that's
Thank
all I
you.
got to say.
Lamin, any final words from you?
Yeah, so tomorrow I don't expect Chelsea to do anyone any favors. So as I know the result I want, but I don't think they're able to do it anyway. So with that, the only thing I want to add, based on, because I said this morning we need to have an Arsenal meeting. So
Yeah, tomorrow.
based on
Tomorrow,
what
I'll set it
happened
up
this
tomorrow.
weekend and the build up to how we got to what happened this weekend, what I want to see next weekend is go out there and beat Burnley convincingly and start to get the momentum back. So that's all I'm saying. Like,
It's only Burnley anyway, so I don't think that's
it doesn't matter who it is,
It's only Burnley.
It doesn't matter who it is. You lost struggle to beat Sheffield United.
It doesn't matter exactly. It's Premier League.
Yeah, so I just want to see us coming back, picking up form again, and really challenge for this title, because it's there to be challenged for, with 3 points or a difference between first and sixth, I think. So it's there to be challenged for, and I want to see a title challenge from Arsenal.
Thank you. Facts.
Yeah, man. Overall, the Premier League, this is why it is one of the best, football competition to watch all over the world. No one can predict anything. Any team that qualifies to play this Premier League, competition, you are one of the best. So all big teams will think they have A, B, C, and D, but they can be easily humiliated by these young boys and these young players. All the big teams have gone through them. Look at the likes of Manchester City. No matter how good they are when they come to Wolves, it's just like they have never played football. Look at the likes of Arsenal. No matter how good they are, if they go to Brighton, it's like they never play football. The likes of Manchester United, if they go to Brentford, it's like they never play football. So this is the surprising thing about this league. Chelsea, I don't have to say anything, because for them, all the small teams can even slap them one by one and go. That's okay. That's the beauty of this game. I love this football. All I want to say is the small teams, Burnley and Luton, they need to improve by signing more players. Like Ross Barkley has added so many things into Luton. If they get more experienced players and all, I believe they can stay and then maintain their positions in the Premier League. Coming to the VAR decision, I think the FA should be suspicious now. They should try to ask why decisions are always not consistent. What is going on? They should also try to do their own investigation rather than demoting referees and then bringing them back, because they are destroying the beautiful game we are playing. This VAR is good, but it's left to me alone, it has to be scrapped away, definitely.
I was gonna ask that towards the end. Let Palms finish, and then we just
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Palms, can you give us your last words?
Yes, I just want to say like 3 quick things. The first one is, obviously I agree with Alka about the referees and the decisions is poor. So the Premier League, they need to buck up their ideas. And we had an offside given. They said Harry Maguire was offside against Fulham. He didn't touch the ball. They're saying it's so they're giving subjective offside now. Football is like art. It's not meant to be like a computer thing where you're looking at every little number. No, it's not meant to be like that. They're trying to make it perfect. It's not meant to be perfect to the T. So please stop trying to make the game perfect. The second thing I want to say is, I think I'm going to predict it now. I think Gary O'Neill is going to be a top manager one day, the Wolves manager. Like, this guy is not a fluke. Everyone was saying Wolves can't score goals. He's in now. Wolves are scoring goals. They get up by the referees. And the third thing I want to say is, don't underestimate Chelsea tomorrow. That's it.
Yeah, Bibi, you said you wanted to say something before
A big man.
Yeah, yeah. What's your you go on with your take. What you have then I can, because I just want to ask like what are your thoughts to scrap this VAR, because is this spoiling this football or this the Premiership and then the way they're getting it wrong? It's
No,
just
I think VAR. I don't think they need to scrap VAR because it's working in other countries. It's just England that's struggling to make good use of it. I think VAR is something good for football, because there are so many times that teams lost, because of fine margins, because of decisions that were supposed to be that were wrong decisions. So I don't think VAR is the problem. I think people that
But
are officiating or being responsible to look at VAR, they're the problem. You understand? Because
yeah,
other countries,
but sorry to cut you, but the same thing is going on. Teams are losing because of VR's decision.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Before,
No, it's
you
not
know,
VAR is not the problem. The people that are tasked
Yeah,
to
the
look
people. Yeah.
is the people that are the problem. Because if you go to Italy, if you go to Spain, they're using VAR. You don't hear much problem coming out from there. It's England, so it's the referees that are the
the
VAR.
FA, the FA needs to look at that.
Yes, that's the problem. So I don't know whether that answers your question, Bibu.
yeah. I mean it does, but then same time you think the style of play it's just I think it's just it changed the tempo of the game. It changed a lot.
Mm.
And this is why I think it's just football wasn't.
It should go away. It should go away.
I just thought it's just slowing the
It should,
pace, the
it
game
should be
pace.
Maradona style. Score with your hand. Finish.
Mm. And that's it.
Anyways, thanks guys. To wrap up, I'll say another savior, last minute savior from Bruno. Arsenal got robbed. Doku, destroyed Bournemouth. Liverpool got a shocker at Luton because everybody expected that they were gonna, walk through Luton. West Ham got a shocker again. Aston Villa inconsistent. One week they win, next week they lose. Brighton are suffering. Is it because of the extra games they're playing in Europe?
They are
This is
fucking.
the beauty of the Premier League. So guys, thank you for being with us today, and don't forget tomorrow is going to be all about Arsenal. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, don't forget to like. Thank you for our guests today. It's been a brilliant show, and I think as United fans we have given Alka the taste of his own medicine, because he's complaining about why we bring in Arsenal to every topic. But yeah,
I'm
that's the
happy with
beauty
it,
of
man.
it.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
You know,
thank
I
you
love
very
it.
much,
Anyway,
guys.
thank you so much for having us as well. You did a very good job tonight. So
Great job.
we're
Great
looking
job.
forward to having
Yeah.
you more podcasts in a year's time or in months' time.
Thank you very much, and have a good weekend, everyone.
Yeah, you too.